what is the one thing that I always revert back to when I want to build my relationship better with my children, when I know that it's sort of been a bit on the edge and it needs a boost, or like we're getting a bit, with each other? This one thing I can guarantee, when I do it once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times in the week, and it won't take longer than 5 or 10 minutes, sometimes even less, is making breakfast with them in the morning. I already talked about it in a different video about why the mornings are really important and waking them up early and positive and all of that. So when I mean breakfast, I don't mean a full-on like full English breakfast or like fine dining 7-dish meal or whatever. I mean a simple breakfast that you can do together. And just to make tea in the morning, have breadsticks with it or biscuits. I think it might be an Egyptian thing, but you know, like you make tea with loads of milk and then they dip it, the breadstick inside, and they eat it and they just absolutely love it. But yeah, something like that. Yes, we'll go get the milk. Emilia open up the tea bag. Each one of them a tea bag, and their cup is in front of them. And then they'll put the tea bag and then put the sugar. Especially if you've got the cube sugars, they're easy for them to pick up and then just drop in with no mess. I'll assign each one of them something to get. So it does make my life a lot quicker because I'm not going to the fridge to get the milk. Guys, we're going to make cornflakes today. Yes, so you go get the milk from the fridge. Emilia, go get the bowls, pick one. And then I give them these bowls. They're from IKEA. And all they do, they're so quick at making decisions. Decision-making skills have become better because of how quick they make decisions. Anyway, I'll say, pick a color. And then they'll pick the colors. Okay, put them on the table. No, I just washed it. He'll bring the milk. She'll bring the cornflakes. I will pour the cornflakes, especially if we're in a hurry. And then I'll tell them, just tell me when to stop. And then he'll give me the milk. He'll open the lid. And then I'll pour it as well. That really won't even take a minute and a half. Like I haven't actually timed myself, but I'm pretty sure if I had, it wouldn't take, and that's it, done. Now, a big impact breakfast, all-time favorite kid breakfast, obviously pancakes. If you haven't got anything really exciting going and I want to kind of have an activity for that day, so that will be the activity, and that will take a bit more time. But what we would do is, now that I know how to make pancakes, it's so easy. I just get the pancake mix and I tell each one of them gets an egg because they both love cracking eggs. I will pour the milk inside the cup and then one of them will pour that milk inside the bowl, and then I'll pour the pancake mix in a different, or in the same cup, and then they'll pour it in. And then each person will have a fork and then they will, mix it. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And then I'll just grab it and then mix the rest. The pancake activity, I know it's going to have more of an impact just because there's more to do. But so you got the dress?
Yeah.
You want to put the sprinkles?
Yeah.
But how are you going to stick the sprinkles?
With honey.
Good idea. Ooh. Press it just a little bit, okay? The fact that you're just making breakfast with them is enough of an activity and enough of something for them to feel a bond with, especially early in the morning. So I can't stress enough how much of a game changer it is just to have breakfast, make breakfast with them. Now the bonus point is to actually have breakfast with them on a table. Now I know this all is really simple and really basic. Sometimes I'll sit with them, sometimes I'll go off and do something else, but I know when I want a bond, definitely sitting down with them for those 3, 4, 5 minutes, just eating, having the breakfast together, and then go. Even if I'm having my drink or my tea with them while they're having the breakfast, just the fact that we're together is enough, is sufficient for that bond to happen. Say that again, what's this? Cornflakes?
Sprinkles and that's chocolate sprinkles.
Good. And what's the Eid stuff? This is the dress for Eid.
I love this.
A sheep that looks a bit like a lion.
It is a lion.
It's a lion, but let's pretend it's a sheep because we don't have a sheep. Do you like your grapes?
That's called sprinkles.
Alternatively, if you've got a bit more time on your hands, and let's say before they go to school, you plan it a bit earlier the night before, 15 minutes extra in the morning, and then we said that we're going to go for donuts before we go off to school or before work or before nursery. She was like really moody for a while and it was a bit tense for a while. Basically, guys, you know what we're going to do tomorrow? I've got something really exciting. Even if we're not on great terms, but I mean, let the past be the past. I'm sure there's a better saying for that. Say to her, tomorrow it's really exciting. Do you want to have donuts tomorrow? Should we go have donuts? And then they'll sleep, really excited to wake up for donuts. And then they'll get dressed like this, zoop. And we'll go for donuts. in the morning, because we'd agreed that we're gonna that it's a limited amount of time before we go somewhere else, and we've only got 5 minutes. So we go inside, you pick the donuts, we get the donuts, we go out. Okay, what do? We go inside, we pick the donuts, we get the donuts, we go out. Okay, if you've got a bit of extra time, you can have a bite or two in the shop before you leave. Because we've got that agreement, it works, and then it's refreshed our relationship once again, because we've done something so simple but different. Oh yes, see, yes, was so nice, and Didi's so good. Hello, my lip. Is it yummy? Did you like it? Now, this whole donut thing shouldn't be a stressful thing. If you're gonna go for donuts or fast food chain and want to get something from there, it shouldn't be a stressful thing. It should be more exciting than stressful. So if maybe you feel like this week is quite a full-on week and it's stressful, I'd maybe put it off for another week, or I'll get my mental state ready for, okay, I've got everything ready, I've got the clothes, I've got the shoes, I've got everything. All they're gonna do is just put it on, and I just go downstairs, go to the car, go, and they're gonna come with me, and then we're gonna go to the donut. So it's chill, So that's the kind of like atmosphere that I feel worked really well with us.
And they dig 10 miles underground to find an acorn to go up to.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know how they even dig it.
With your clothes right there.
That's crazy. Did this call him? Can you answer?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Now, for my friends who have older kids, I talked about this with my friends loads, and she was telling me that her daughter's older, and yeah, your kids are younger, but would it work for the older kids? And I'm just thinking, who would say no to this? If I pitch it this way the night before and I say, Khadija, I'm super excited, I've got a really good idea, do you know what we should do? I think tomorrow we should make breakfast. Maybe you can make breakfast, and maybe you could pick it. What do you think? I think it would be so good. And then if there's more people in the house, and then Daddy can eat it with us, and then you can even make it for everyone. It would be so exciting. What do you think? If you're that passionate and if you're that buzzing about it, why wouldn't they? They crave the smallest bit of what's it called?
They crave the smallest bit of
attention from us, and they crave responsibility. So if we're giving them that responsibility and they're super excited about it, why would they have a problem with making the breakfast? In fact, they will absolutely love it, I'm pretty sure. So if you try it, yeah. But they want to do something, and I want to refresh and boost that relationship again.
Now you see that.
Yay! Press.
Just.
Aizdi? Say that again. What did he say, Yeso? I feel like I need a transition. Tip number 2. It's so common, we hear it all the time. Listen to them, get them to speak, engage in a conversation. Now, sometimes it's really difficult, especially if you've got a kid who doesn't really want to speak. I mean, for example, when she comes back, I'll tell her, what did you do today, Lolly? I'll tell you tomorrow. Lily, what did you do today? And then she'll still say, I'll tell you tomorrow. I don't want to talk. That's how she is. That's just her personality. But do you know what would really get her speaking? Is not even asking her that. The times that we've had really good conversations, you'll say, do you remember when Yeso was having breakfast and his hand was on the table and then he left it and then he was dangling and it was all falling? Do you remember? And I'm like, yeah, oh my gosh, I remember. It's like the silliest story, and it's not even that funny. She'll say it and then she'll think it's hilarious, and then we'll start talking about that. That, do you remember when has been the easiest prompt to start a conversation and to bring back a bond? When Tita came and then she made us pancakes and it was really nice. Do you remember that? Oh, did you like it? Yeah, was it good? There's a back and forth conversation that is so much easier to maintain than trying to prompt something with just questions. And a bonus to that as well, do you remember when are the funny stories, which leads me on to part 3. A bonus to that, do you remember when are the funny stories, which leads me on to part 3. Transition 3. Number 3 is make them laugh. about a time where you've laughed your butt off, like right from the heart, where you're in tears, like if you've met up with old friends and you're just laughing. Think about your mood, how it changed perspective on life even. After you just had a really good life, your whole mood changes, your whole attitude changes. I think kids tend to have that energy in the morning and that buzz because mostly they're not thinking about anything, they're just thinking about ways to entertain themselves, giggling or laughing at the most silliest of things, and that's probably the reason why they have energy. And I feel like energy just comes from that laughter. So many times where I've been like tired, and then something would happen and I would just laugh and my mood would change. And I remember at uni don't judge, but I used to go on YouTube and watch people falling over because I used to find it so hilarious. I mean, it's so bad, but I mean, it's on, people have posted it, so you've been framed and all of that. You can get them to laugh. Again, if you can get it in the morning or can get it in the middle of the day where the energy levels are starting to slow down. So you've done your breakfast, your activity, they've played a bit. If you're not going out, then it's kind of like drizzling. Then this is the perfect time to get a tickle in and then just tickle monster, tickle monster, tickle monster again in a few minutes. But the effect of it will echo and resonate, big word, for a while throughout the day. So you've still engaged with them, and because they're happy, they're most likely not to be doing something that they know they shouldn't be doing. I don't know why I touched the wall there. Also find that whole like, I'm gonna get you, rah! They find it hilarious, just going behind the dog and boo, the suspense of you coming towards them and all of that is just, it's so funny. Will help that mood change. Even if they fall over and obviously you know they're okay, you're like, oh, that's so silly, how did you even fall? There's nothing for you to fall on. And then laugh about it. After in somehow, the easiest way, if you can't be bothered to get up, is while they're on the sofa next to you, just, you know, tickle their armpits, tickle them underneath the neck, on the inner thigh, stuff like that. Earwag. Number 4, final point. You might guess it. It's that one that everybody says, love. I love you in the morning. Morning, afternoon, in the evening, and underneath the moon. Coco Melon, yeah? If you know, you know. Them to be praised and shown love. There was an interview with Warren Buffett, and the lady in the interview asked him, what is the one piece of advice that you would give? I mean, this guy's like a billionaire. I mean, I think I don't know if he's the richest. Should have Googled this before. Anyway, he's really famous, he's really successful, and he's really good at what he does, and he's very wealthy. Now, he said this, wrote it down. The best power in the world is unconditional love. And if you offer that to your child, then you are 90% of the way home. Maybe days when you don't feel like it, but to know that you can always come back. And I totally agree with that part. Even if you don't feel like it, they're not going to know if when you say I love you, it's not coming from the heart. They've heard it, they've acknowledged it. And most times when you're saying it, it would be coming from the heart. I mean, you don't hate them. So usually in the morning when they wake up, morning, la la la, I love you, Lolly, I love you, yes. Or if they're in the car or if we're out and we're driving, even if I'm not speaking to them and they're having their own, like, you know, moment at the back, I love you guys. And then if before they sleep, I love you, oh, that's so cute, I love you, Lolly, I love you, yes. And even if you're not feeling it and you're just saying I love you, you might get a reaction that you really don't expect from your child.
Yes, so love you. No, I love you.
Result of what you just said. So Warren Buffett refers to that after he talks about his unconditional love that he felt from his dad. If you're feeling love from somebody else, you're obviously going to be feeling good about life. You're going to be feeling good about yourself, whether it's your spouse, whether you're at work, whether it's a sister, whether it's a family member. By default, we do want to hear they're loved. Even if they know that they're loved, they want to hear it. Now, imagine little kids, they want to hear that love and all, and love them too often. Praising is really good because it helps eliminate having to tell them off, because if they're getting praised for something and they're getting that attention for something, it's likely going to be wanting that attention again. And because they know they're getting it for something good, they're just not even going to think about doing something that they don't necessarily should do. So those were the 4 things that I feel like are really helpful and are power tools to help us. That's it. That was the final point. To just praise them and love them. Peace and love. Peace and love. And see that? It's a long last motorbike. So, spoke so quick. To breathe. And it gets them. They get just really excited. That's my transition, so I don't have to edit. Remember when that dog was running over there and then it slipped? Made that up.